Hey there guys, Cubby and Brandon here with Nerdlocker, and we got some comic book reviews for you.
We've got some DC, we've got some Marvel, we've got some Image, so, you know.
Check it out.
Hey guys, Brandon here, and I got to read Before Watchmen, Night Owl #2. This is a really good book still. I'm actually loving this entire series, the whole Before Watchmen stuff, but Night Owl's awesome. We really get to see more of him and Rorschach working together, and you actually get a lot of history on Rorschach in this, which surprised me. Like, you're getting just as much, if not more, history on him than you are Night Owl. But it's still a really good book. I'd pick it up. It's 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey nerds, this review is for the first X-Men #1. Honestly, I have to be honest with you guys, I feel like this is a little bit of a cop-out for me because it's supposed to be Logan and Creed making their X-Men team before Xavier does. And it wasn't a very exciting first comic. I really hope that it picks up. Just like the Avengers vs. X-Men, how it kind of picked up throughout the series, I really hope that this picks up because for a first issue, it did not do it for me. I hope that things get better, but for right now, this is gonna be a 2.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right guys, I got to read probably the most anticipated book of the entire year for me personally, Hawkeye #1 by Matt Fraction and the wonderful David Aja. Whoo, man, this book had everything I wanted, and one big thing for me, no single panel except for the first panel where he's in his costume. That was probably the best part. You don't see him as the character. It's all about Clint. It's all about his story, and you don't need to know anything about his story other than he is an Avenger and he uses a bow and arrow, and that's really all you need to know. They fill you in on the details, and it doesn't even go into his origin. It's all about him now, living in the now and doing things. And there's a few things that he does. You know, he's a good guy. He's a great, upstanding individual, but you can totally see that later on, it's gonna plague him and something's gonna happen. I can't wait for this. This is gonna be an awesome, awesome series. And the artwork, it was so reminiscent of like Darwin Cook, but a little grittier, and it was David Aja all the way through, but you can see like certain classic elements that, you know, Darwin Cook's influenced by a lot of classic people, and you can see that in the original Hawkeye stories kind of coming out action-wise. I can't talk about this book enough. It is absolutely amazing. 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls, easily, not only because it's Hawkeye, but because it's Matt Fraction and it's David Aja. He's an amazing artist, so check it out. One of the best books of the year so far.
Hey guys, I've got my review of Earth 2 #4, and I have to say this was an awesome issue. It was really action-packed, and it was really fun for me to see all of the characters finally come together and start working as a team. And there's a secret character who is very well known in the DC universe who makes an appearance, and he is not what we know him to be now, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to make of this in the future issues. So I'm giving it 5 Nerd Skulls. If you're interested in this comic, go check out our interview on nerdlocker.com with Nicola Scott.
All right, next up, I got to read Animal Man 12, which is the start of the Rot World tie-in with Swamp Thing, and man, is this awesome. I love Jeff Lemire, I love Scott Snyder, I love that they're both working together on this awesome story. And if you saw the interview that we did at Comic-Con, he talked about all these other C-list characters that are gonna get involved. We don't see anything yet, but it really gets you set up for what we're going to see. I'm really excited to read Swamp Thing because that's on sale as well this week. I want to see how the two go together. But if you're reading either book, you need to be picking up this issue. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey, this review is for Harvest #1, and I really enjoyed this comic. It's gory and there's some drugs and nudity in it, but for the comic itself, it's really exciting. The storyline's really picking up, and for a first issue, it really surprised me. So if you're okay with gore and a little bit of violence, go ahead and pick it up. I give this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, this is Haley with my review of Mind the Gap #3. This issue revolves around Elle using the memory wall to get in contact with the real world. So now she's been successful, and her friend Joe is going to be kind of her voice in the real world, which was really interesting to see unfold. And then the other story that we're kind of just starting to see is that she's got some repressed memories that seem to be really terrifying. They take up 2 whole pages, and it's going to be really interesting to see that unfold and see her discover, you know, dealing with her past demons. But other than that, I feel like the story is a little bit too dialogue heavy and there's not enough action in it, so I'm going to give it 3 Nerd Skulls.
Holy crap, this book's amazing. If you are not familiar with The Boys, it is about a group of people who are superpowered who police superheroes for the CIA. So it's all under secret, and they do some crazy stuff. I used to read the series a lot. It was really, really good at the beginning. I personally just stopped reading comic books altogether for a little while, and I totally got out of Boys lore and everything. So I haven't actually read this book for about 40 issues. And I gotta say, if you pick it up right now, it's a huge shocker. It's part 4 of a story arc, probably about a 5 or 6 part story arc. So I was totally out of the loop. But knowing the characters and knowing enough, it actually gives you a sense of what's going on, and there's a big reveal in this issue, a huge reveal that makes me want to go back and catch up on everything. It's definitely a worthy read, great pacing and great artwork. It's always delivered great artwork, and plus the main character is modeled after Simon Pegg, so you can totally just put Simon Pegg in that character and have him talking, and it's really, really easy, really fun read, crazy violent, and this issue in particular was a lot of character development and story development, so not a lot of action, but past issues, past craziness, oh man, totally worth it. So check it out, The Boys. I'm giving this issue in particular a 3.5 Nerd Skulls, just because I don't know all the craziness going on, but definitely check it out, The Boys.
Hey nerds, Kit here, and the first comic that I'm reviewing is Think Tank #1. And this comic first starts off with an Albert Einstein quote, and I thought that was pretty interesting. It is a very science and military comic. I like the science part of it, but the military part I wasn't so into. If you like military comics, go ahead and pick this up. Otherwise, for this comic, I think I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, my next review for you is World's Finest #4, and this was my first time reading this, and I was really disappointed in the way that the women were written. I felt that they were very stereotypical, and it was just kind of cliche, and I was a little bit insulted actually, but I mean, there wasn't even that much of a story. I didn't get much out of it, just to be completely honest. I'm going to give it 1.5 Nerd Skulls.
Last up, I got to read Thief of Thieves #7. This was really cool because they really take you inside how they do the specific job that the issue was talking about, carry over from the last one. You really see all the details. It's very, it's very detailed in how they show everything. I'm loving this book. I honestly didn't think I'd be reading it this long. I thought I was going to drop off after a couple issues, but this book still very much has my attention. Cool little tie-in twist thing at the end. Either way, I enjoyed it. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. All right, nerds, that is going to do it for all the comic book reviews we have for you this week. But until next week, be sure to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and nerdlocker.com for all your nerdy news. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Cubby.
We'll see you next week for more comic reviews.
Yeah.